So I wanted to show you guys the new car to my channel. I just recently picked this up probably about a month ago. I just haven't had time to make a video on it, but I just needed something a little bit newer, a little bit faster to replace my '89 Honda Accord as a daily driver. So without further ado, let's go check out my new car. Boom! 2015 Honda Accord V6 6-speed manual. Yeah. So this is my 2015 Honda Accord MT manual transmission 6-cylinder, 6-speed. I had wanted, as you guys know, I have an '89 Accord, which was serving as my daily driver, but honestly, I mean, although it didn't break down on me, it had no power. I didn't feel really confident taking it out of state, as much as I go to California, Nevada, or even just, you know, up north in Arizona. I just really wanted something a little bit more modern, definitely a lot more powerful, and just something that I felt comfortable, that it wasn't gonna break down or have some kind of issue. So I was looking at C5 Z06 Corvettes around the 2000, early 2000s. I was looking at those, trying to find one. I didn't really see anything that fell into my price point. So I actually just happened to be randomly on Auto Trader, and this Accord popped up, and it was something that I had been looking for a while. But they're really hard to find a 6-cylinder 6-speed. If anybody, you know, are Coupe Accord fans, they're just not a lot out there. And so I just happened to be on there. The car had been listed, I think, for a week or two, and so I reached out to the owner. They actually live about 2 hours north of where I live, so it wasn't in the valley per se, but it was definitely, you know, a little bit out there. And went out, checked the car, took it for a test drive, met the owners obviously, and it was definitely something that I, you know, love. I guess if I had one complaint about it, I just wish it wasn't white. I really like the red. Black, although I like black, the black in the summer here in Arizona with the black interior is it's just brutal. So I wanted to stay away from black. They actually have a brown that I really, really like. But again, those are almost impossible to find. A black, not a black, but a brown coupe. So it is what it is. This is white, but I figured at some point I like to do a wrap on it. Maybe not the whole car, but maybe like the hood, the roof, and the trunk. Just something to get out of the way. To me, it feels more like a rental car, the look of it, just an all white car. And it just, for me, I want to have something a little bit different. So I think at some point, once I get some money, I will do some sort of wrap just to make it a little bit different than every other white car out here in the valley. So this is a 3.5 liter V6 that makes 278 horsepower and 252 pounds of torque. So far, I mean, I have no problem with the horsepower. I know they do make, you can get a tune for this. Obviously there's aftermarket, so possibly looking at a Borla exhaust or, you know, a exhaust to waken it up a little bit. But honestly, like, I don't feel like I need a crazy amount of horsepower, so I probably will do an exhaust. I won't do a tune, at least I don't believe I will. But I know they make like a short shift kit, and I want to get actually rid of this ball, if you see the shifter knob, because it's just a little bit worn out already, and I wanted something a little bit different. So so that is definitely on the list of things to do. Maybe at some point I'll do some coilovers and some wheels, but I don't want to get too crazy with this car because, again, this is going to be my new daily driver, and I've already taken it out to California twice. I've taken it up to Utah once, and I've only owned this car for a month. And so I think when I bought it, it had roughly around 38,000 miles, and it already has 42,000 miles. So, excuse me. So I've been driving it. So the car has an auxiliary and a cigarette lighter. So the auxiliary is really where the USB port goes. So I plug in my lightning cable for my iPhone, and then the cigarette lighter I already put in a dual USB port. That way I could charge my phone. Sometimes I'll charge the GoPro batteries or whatever else I need to charge instead of just having the one, because I found myself, especially with GoPro cameras, the batteries don't last very long. So I'll actually plug a cable in so they could charge while I'm driving to wherever I'm going. That way, you know, I always have a fully charged battery. So to the left of the ports, there's a little like cubby, you know, that you can put your keys in or you know, something else. And then above it, there's also another cubby right here. So if you want to put your wallet or iPhone or, you know, whatever, there's also another cubby right there that I find useful. That's kind of hidden from sight. So on top, you have the econo mode, which I typically use most of the time. It doesn't cut the cylinders, but it definitely does alter maybe the amount of fuel that the car gets, because when you have it on and off, you could definitely tell a difference right away in driving. So since this is my daily, I typically use it on econo mode, especially if I'm traveling to, you know, California or Nevada or something like that. I have it on econo mode, but 99% of the time it's on econo mode. To the left over there, the LDW is lane departure warning. So while you're driving, if you happen to veer off to the left or to the right, the camera senses that and will pick up on the lines and just give you a beep. And then obviously to the right of it is traction control on or off. So here is the auxiliary mode, the gauge cluster that just shows you all your lights. You know, some are on while you drive, and then some of them are on obviously if you have some sort of issue with the car. So the center console has basically two monitors. So there's a monitor up top, which I usually leave it on the screen that tells me how much fuel range I have left. But you could change that top monitor. And then there is a middle monitor, which I usually have on the as far as the radio is concerned. So I usually have it on my Sirius. But sometimes I'll have, you know, Pandora or something like that. And then below it is your AC control. So you have your, you know, your heat, your cooling, on, off, sync, I'm not even sure what that does. Your mode, obviously how you want the air to blow out. Fan speed, low, high, AC on or off. If you want it to, you know, integrate it going through. Then you have your front windshield defrost, and then your rear windshield defrost, as well as your heat and cold for the passenger. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see on both sides there is a heated seats, so they're just low and high. I wish they were cooled seats as well, since I live in Arizona, but they're not. They're just heated, so it is what it is. Then you got your rear view mirror, and then above that you actually have your place for your sunglasses. And then you have, this is actually a sunroof car, as you see, and you could have it open a little quarter like that, or you could have it open the whole way as such. So I love having a sunroof. I think this is the only car I currently have that has a sunroof. So Yeah, so I particularly enjoy having a sunroof, although it's a little too hot in the summer of California to have one, but when it starts getting cooler, I definitely like having a sunroof. In the middle, you have your center console. And right now I got some masks for COVID, my iPod, and it has another outlet right here. If you need to use that, and this little change purse, but yeah, I mean, decent size, nothing crazy, but it's there if you need it. Obviously there's your 2 cup holders right there that are big enough for any size drink that I've had so far. So far good on that. So you will notice on the interior that there is a stain. Hopefully it shows up. There's a yellow-ish stain from the previous owner. I guess they dropped something, some kind of lotion or drink, or I don't know exactly what. So I haven't tried to get it out, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it out. But it's there nonetheless. So this is one of the few minor imperfections of the car, but it is there, and I do want to get that fixed at some point. One of the other minor imperfections, if you can't really see it right there, but there is a scratch there that I honestly don't remember it being there when I bought it, but there it is nonetheless. And there's also a dent like right there. So again, I didn't see that when I bought it. I'm sure it was there unless they backed into something, but at that point I pretty much had my mind made up that I was gonna purchase the car. So yeah, so I'm just gonna have hopefully one of my buddies you know, do one of those dentless or paintless dent repair, and I'm hoping that will pop out pretty easily. So a couple of things that I don't like about this car so far is I don't really care for the white on the seats and the white on the door panels. That's just personal preference. I'm sure it keeps it cooler, especially here in Arizona, but it's just something that, I don't know. I mean, it's probably better than having all black, but I don't know. I would like to do something different, maybe add some red in there to change it up, make it a little bit nicer. I'm just afraid the white's gonna get dirty, and I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of the white inserts. 2 is on the seatings, the settings. So it has a 1 for driver and then 2 for the passenger. As soon as you open up the door, the car starts, or the seat starts to move towards your position. So since I'm on the shorter side, you know, it's a little bit harder to get in because as soon as you open the door, it starts sliding up to where you want to sit. So I wish it was something where I could sit down and then it would move instead of like as soon as opening the door and move. So I guess it's just a little pet peeve of mine, but it is kind of annoying. So I find myself sometimes like having to bring the seat back and then bring it up again because it's too far up at the time. 3, I guess you could say, is so in the back, it's not a split folding, it's just a full. So you can't have like one of the back seats down. It has to be both, which I haven't even put them down yet. I haven't needed to, but I know I had a 2000 Accord and they were split. So I personally just like having it split, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. Again, I haven't even had to put it down for anything. So I was going to actually try to do it earlier in this video to show you, but it didn't even go down at all. So I'm not sure if I'm doing anything wrong or not. I'll have to get the owner's manual on that one. But those are probably like my 3 things so far. Oh, let me show you this one right now. So 4 would actually be, they have like this line right here on the side view mirror that actually is really annoying because I don't know, when I'm driving, it just like, I'll think somebody is right there in my like peripheral right there, and I don't know, it just freaks me out. And a couple of times while I've been driving, I just swerved really quickly because I thought a car was right there, but it's really like a lane over. So I think I might want to have that actually replaced just with regular side mirror glass, because for whatever reason it just really throws me off. So those would be like my 4 main complaints about this car. But other than that, again, those are all minor. You know, I don't, there's nothing major about this car that I don't like. In fact, I really, really like it. At the time when I was looking, I had forgotten that 2016 and 17, the Honda Accord Coupes got a facelift. And so when I saw this, I was looking at really 2015 to 17s, not realizing that I would have liked 2016 or 17 just to get the latest version, because they stopped production in 2017 of the coupe. So it's not a huge deal. There's not a big difference in the way it looks. So the front end is a little bit different, a little bit more modern, and actually in here on the inside, all this like aluminum right here is piano black on the 2016 17s. So everything else here is the same. It's just this is piano black, but everything else is the same. So again, I just wanted it because I wanted the most modern one before they stopped production. But again, it's not a huge difference. Most people probably don't even know the difference between a 2015 and 2016 style-wise. Excuse me. But it is what it is. Like I said, there's not too many differences. So other than that, that's pretty much all that I can think of. I know I'm probably a little blurry. There we go. So one of the future videos I plan to do is I still have my 1989 Accord Coupe, and that one is a 5-speed, which I'm sure you guys seen on the channel. But I want to do a side-by-side with my 89 Coupe and this 2015 Coupe, and just basically show you the differences, which are major differences. I mean, obviously, a lot of time has gone by between the two, you know, Accords. So, but it'd be cool just to kind of, you know, do a side-by-side and kind of show you the differences and the way technology has improved and all that stuff. So, I don't know when I'm going to do it, hopefully here shortly. But I think it would just be a cool video to have, you know, to show the differences between the two.